Hey guys, welcome to the Stealthy Crafter. I'm Jessica, and today we are doing a Wip Chat. If you guys don't know what Wip stands for, it stands for work in progress. And what normally happens during a Wip Chat is that you can bring out your own whips, or be it that you want to do chores or just sit around doing nothing or whatever, while you listen to me ramble about what's going on during my week or during my whole life. We can get started. So I hope you guys are doing okay. I apologize for not having a Whip and Chat up last week, but for the sake of words, I was not in the best of mental conditions to talk and be joyful at all last week. So I didn't want to bring the channel down, so I decided just post unboxings and skip the week instead. Not that anything really exciting happened in my household to really warrant to talk about, but I did have a couple things I wanted to bring up at the time, but I didn't write them down. But so like all the funny stuff that my kids did, completely forgot. So I'm working on Pink Mermaid. Have her upside down. I decided to do something a little different. If you're looking at the video, I don't know who does watch the screen while they're working along, but I decided to go checkerboarding today. It's been a while since I've checkerboard, so I decided to do this. And I have another whip going on. It's Faces of Fairy. I think it's like 208 Faces of Fairy, if I remember correctly. But I'm having a lot of trouble during nighttime looking at it and trying to diamond paint on it, even with my backlight here, my light board. So I decided that for the sake of me able to actually diamond paint while talking to you and not focusing too hard on the symbols, because it's more the shades than anything else, to make sure everything's put down correctly. I'll just do something like this while I work on that in the background. So it's really pretty though. It's like very monochromatic. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Let me know down below how things are going, how you guys are feeling. And I guess we can get started on some of the things that's been going on. I think when we last talked, I mentioned something about my phone starting to kind of go haywire, and that I may need to get a new phone soon. Well, after I posted that, my phone definitely started freaking out a bit more. It's like, we think it was like a motherboard issue or something. And what we had to do, I tried to fix it, but the fixes weren't doing a great job, especially when I was outside. So what was going on was, if you unlocked and locked it very quickly, the screen would turn black, and then at the very top it was like green with green lines, and you couldn't see the screen at all to try and actually unlock it. And so I turned the brightness setting way down low, like they said, but these were all very temporary fixes, and they said that eventually the screen would start flickering, and I was getting worried because it was starting to happen too often. And one time when I was outside, I couldn't even have it on for, oh my goodness, I couldn't have it on for like 2 hours. At that point, when I came back inside after I had the kids play, my husband and I started talking over it, and we decided, yeah, it's time for a new phone. So I built up the courage to actually go and pick out a phone online and everything. I've never really used. Okay, so I've been building up my credit. I've gotten a credit card. I finally started working on my credit. So I was very nervous about getting a phone for the first time, using my credit to get a phone, because my phone was actually on my dad's plan, and I as I was talking to my husband, we decided it's time for me to get my own plan because the reason why I became on my dad's plan was a long time ago when I was pregnant with the twins. And then my husband was working a lot. We were coming along really hard times, and we had to cut the phone bills. And he was able to have his phone from work, and what we were going to do was like download an app on my phone so he can still contact me since I would have internet access here. My dad didn't like that and put me on his phone bill instead, and then we haven't really, done anything to change that. So we've been just kind of stuck on his. Well, I've been kind of stuck on his phone plan, and I've been talking about how I've been wanting to, move on and get the kids on my phone and stuff like that when we got, when they got older and become teenagers. And my dad was like, "Well, they can just join me on my phone plan." And I appreciate my dad. I love my dad a lot, but I just did not want to do that. A couple reasons. It's just that I like to be in control with a lot of stuff, and I don't like when things are out of my control. So, and also, another thing was my dad has this bad habit of changing my phone number constantly because of the deals that he gets. So I'll tell you a short story. So one of the things was I had a decent phone at the time. I think it was like a Samsung 8, maybe 7. It was like 2 years old. And I get a phone call from my dad, and he's all like, "Hey, your sister, she's getting a brand new phone, and you're gonna get a new phone too." And I'm like, "Okay." Her phone was up for an upgrade. So, and turns out it was like they did a buy one. If you could get buy one of these phones, but you get the other one free, but you have to open up a new line. And he decides that the best thing was, instead of having his oldest daughter, who really needed to keep the same phone number, because she has kids and she has like so many, like I had like so many doctors and stuff like that on this one phone number, that he decided that the not youngest, she's the middle child, gets to keep her phone number, even though she doesn't have that many people that she needs to keep on her. It's easier for her to. Case in point, okay, long story short, it's easier for her to change her number compared to me to change my number. And I was like, first I was like, well, I don't need a new phone. I'll be fine. You guys can find a way of doing something else. Now, I was kind of foisted to get the Samsung 9 on me, so I was just like, okay. And it was a lot of work trying to change everything to get that, because it was like during school. My oldest was already in school, so I had to contact the schools and, show who I was, proof who I was, and, get that changed. I did not want to deal with that. So I've been worried about that happening a second time, because her phone is always up for an upgrade compared to me, because he would always just put me on a new phone line. So I was just like, okay, I need to get, as much as I appreciate, my dad, helping me out, I need to get my own phone line at this point. So I went, I shopped around. One of the things I found was a Google Fi. I was like going between that and Mint Mobile, and I finally decided on Google Fi. So I did that, and I got myself a Samsung S22 Ultra. I know, that's a mouthword, huh? I was kind of going back and forth on it. I was like, okay, we're gonna go with the Pixie Pro 6 or this one, because I like to take pictures of my diamond paintings and post them on Instagram, and I want them to look at least somewhat decent. Surprise. And eventually I would like to use my phone to record from time to time if I'm excuse me, if I was not around home and not have my usual setup, I could at least use my phone instead of my GoPro to record and stuff like that. So I was like kind of going back and forth. My husband's like, you're not going to be happy unless you get the thing that you really want, because I was like going to go to the cheaper option. He's like, just get the Samsung. I'm like, okay, thank you. So even though I had to gag at the price, it's not too bad in the long run. I'm pretty happy with the phone so far. But so yeah, here, look at it. It's so pretty. I made sure that it was all black. The only problem I had was the color choices. I remember when the Samsung 9 was out, you could have like this really sleek blue, which I didn't get, unfortunately. My sister gotten that color instead, and they only had one left, so it was just like, well, if you're so I chose black back then, and I chose black again because the colors were, for this phone, they had black, white, and then it was like burgundy and then sage green, and I'm like, none of these colors appeal to me. So I figure I can get a nicer case eventually. I just wanted to have something protect my phone. So alright, I think that's enough talk about my phone. I rambled too much about that. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee. And it needs more creamer. I forgot, so now I need some water because that's a little too bitter. Oh my goodness. Have my fizzy water. It's peach. See? So, yesterday was the 4th. I'm hoping to get this put up sometime later on today. So, yesterday was the 4th, and I really did not want to do anything, but my husband, he was adamant about buying fireworks, and I'm just like, okay. So he's been talking about it. He's been wanting to do this, and he's just really like, everyone gets to do it. I want to do it. I'm like, well, everyone jumps off a cliff, would you do it? No. But he's been really wanting to buy some to shoot off. So I was like, okay, buy small ones, really small ones, right? Don't go crazy. Luckily, he didn't go crazy. We got a couple of sparklers, and I think he got like 4 small ones, but he did go crazy with the last one. He's like, this is the finale. I'm like, oh, good Lord. So he bought like a dragon that has like smoke coming out of his butt, and like, of course, my son, he thinks that's the most hilarious thing in the world. So we were like waiting last night for it to get dark enough and for everyone else to start shooting off theirs, because I'm not going to shoot mine off unless there's people actually shooting theirs off. So I try to get the kids sparklers, and my kids, this is one of the things. My kids, they have common sense, but they don't have common sense. And what I mean by that is, I gave them the sparklers, and I'm like, don't wave it around, don't do anything. And my oldest, Nicole, she's like, immediately starts waving it near people's faces, and I'm like, no, don't do that. We had a bucket of water for them to throw the sparklers into. And then I had lit up the sparklers for both Michael and Jaina. And at that point, my husband gets one of those little poppers. And we thought it was like going to be the small little poppers. And he flings it. And it's a really loud one. It made them drop their sparklers, because I even jumped. I was like, what the heck was that? And, and then, even though we're like, we tried to teach our kids, safety 101, don't pick up hot things. My son Michael, you think, hey, I just dropped this really hot thing, I should not pick it up. He goes and starts picking up right where the hot end was. And yeah, he burnt his finger. He was not happy, and this was like right at the beginning. Luckily I had the burn gel. He's fine. It's like he has like a little bit of a blister going on his thumb, if I remember correctly. But I was just like, this is not going off to a good start. Okay, no more sparklers. No one's listening. I'm not going to let you guys play with sparklers. So, and that was another thing. The kids, they were so excited, but they were not very well behaved, and I was kind of disappointed on how they were acting. For a good portion, it was just like I was trying to tell them to do a thing, and they wanted to go off in a different direction, or they wanted to get closer, and I was just like, no, stay here, or else you're going to go upstairs and into your own rooms. Because at this point, I was frustrated and on high alert, and I don't do well when I'm stressed out. I get very angry when I'm stressed. So I had my neighbor who also was over here, and we were all watching it. It was really cool, but at the same time, I was just like kind of nervous because my dad, he used to be a volunteer firefighter, and he would set off fireworks for the entire town where we live, with the other firefighters. And I just, have memories of one year. It was the last year where the firefighters actually shot off the fireworks. And it was like they used to let the families of all the firefighters come over and sit and watch the fireworks right there, instead of like from anywhere else. So we got a really close view. And one year it was like faulty, and it was like a couple ones where they fizzled out, but they didn't work, and it was okay. And then they set off one, and it I wouldn't say exploded, but it kind of did. It zoomed off. It's like went off in all sorts of different directions. It freaked me out so bad, and it did kind of like, and then one other went, exploded like from within, so it just shot out everywhere. The shrapnel went everywhere, and my dad gotten like a nice piece of shrapnel in his knee that he had to get surgery and stitches and all that fun stuff to get it out. So I'm like, oh gosh, I don't want anything like this happening again. I'm just so worried. And he was he knew how to set off fireworks, like these really big ones. And I'm like, I know my husband's safe and everything, but it's just like, I'm a big worrywart, and I get freaked out over the smallest things. And I start fretting, and I start thinking about 100,000 different situations that could happen, that could go wrong. So yeah, I mean, like, overall, the kids enjoyed themselves, but I was like, and I did enjoy the fireworks, but oh man, I don't want them to do that again next year. I really don't. I just want to sit and enjoy other people's fireworks, because at least I know that we don't have an accident. But yeah, I'd rather not. He's all like, I want to do that again. I'm like, no. So, yeah, there hasn't been too much else that's been happening, though, this week. Those are the two main things. I was listening to the update Craftably made yesterday, and it was a little sad, but I understood. They were talking about the latest update on the spring orders, because I've been waiting for mine. I ordered mine way back in December. And they were mentioning that, like, some artists and stuff like that they had to let go of some licensing rights, so that they were going, like a lot of the stuff that they ordered is going to, basically be limited edition. It's gone. He said that ones who did put a pre-order in were definitely going to get our stuff, but they're not going to be able to promise that anyone else is going to get it. It's like, what was it? He said 6 to 13 units, so. And I'm just a little sad, because there was a couple other things that I wanted to get after the stuff came in. I couldn't justify buying all this stuff back in December, because it was right before Christmas, and I was like still trying to get Christmas things, and at that time I still had bought a bunch of stuff from the Black Friday sale with Diamond Art Club. So I was just like, oh, I'll just buy these later, when they actually come out. I should have probably put an order in at the time. I'm going to ask my husband to see if it's okay, maybe, because I've already just dropped some money for actual in-stock Craftably things, because I was wondering if I should do a second Jasmine Beckett Griffith because of how I was having trouble with this. I'm going to finish it, but I wanted something colorful as well. Um, so I asked him if it was okay to buy another Jasmine Beckett Griffith one, and that was like the day before that announcement. If I knew that, I wouldn't have done it. Same thing. If I knew Diamond Art Club had the Jasmine Beckett Griffith that I wanted, I wouldn't have ordered what I just ordered. Hindsight is 2020, and I'm just like, man, my impatience. Sometimes, well, I wouldn't say it was impatience. I waited a whole day before I bought it, but still, these guys need to announce it a day earlier or something, so that way I can hold off. So, so yeah, that was one of the things that I was like bummed out about because I wanted to get something that was like, of course it was like fairies and stuff like that because I'm obsessed with fairies. I love fairies so much. I'm just like, I want to get them, but I can't. So, let's see. What else has been going on? My oldest has been stuck at home this whole week. We were her friend was on vacation for the entire week last week, so she was stuck at home, and oh my goodness, you thought that was a death sentence. Like between her and her brother, it was just constant bickering. I'm just like, okay, you guys need to just calm down. They've all found a common ground in Minecraft, and sometimes they can get along and play together quietly with it, and then other times I'm sitting here because they're doing they're playing together. So the great thing was Minecraft finally came up with an update. I think sometime at the beginning of June. It was like, so there's a Java edition, and then I don't remember what the other edition was. But if you had one, they let you have the other one, and vice versa. So my oldest, she had the version that was on her computer. She didn't have Java, and the twins, they had the Java edition on their Switch. So we have two Switches, and we put the accounts on both Switches. So my son and my daughter, so Michael and Jana, was able to play together normally, but Nicole wasn't able to play with them. Now she can, and it's a whole nother thing now. It's a whole nother level, and it's a good and a bad thing, because like I said, they get together sometimes, and the twins are all like, yay, we're following our big sister, we're doing what she's doing, that kind of things. And then other times it's like, she's like, they won't stop bothering me. It's like, and then it just becomes a bigger fester. And I'm like, oh my god, guys, calm down, please. Because they're all like, what's this, Nicole? What's this? What's this? How do you do this? Because they don't know how to really do a lot of building at all. They just been doing their own thing. And when Nicole was playing with them, they're like seeing all these cool things she's been able to do. So they're bothering her. They're asking her, a million questions, which, not a big deal. She did the same thing at their age, but she doesn't remember doing that. So, what symbol is that again? It's okay. Making sure. I don't want to start placing these because I'm not paying attention. I didn't want them in the wrong spot. So yeah, that's been going on. And, at the same time, she's trying to force them to play survival mode, and they're getting upset because they don't want to play survival mode. They just want to play in creative, and she's, like, don't be babies. And I had to stop that because I'm like, look, kid, you just started playing survival. You can't do that, because for the longest time she wanted to play in creative, or, she didn't want to do survival at all. She's just literally like within the last few months, so she needs to calm down. So, but we did explain that, Nicole learned a lot of the stuff, like, because she watches a lot of YouTube creators that do like Minecraft builds and stuff like that. And I keep a close ear on who she watches and stuff like that. I even introduced her to one recently, so. that I know that wasn't like going to be, cursing up a storm or anything. She knows curse words. It's just that I don't really want her to, deal with someone who's constantly dropping the F bomb. She already hears me drop it every now and then. She doesn't need to hear someone else do it. And that little drill needs to go away because it does not look nice. All right. If you hear any thumping or hear any noises in the background, my kids are upstairs for the time being, but they are now making a racket that I can hear. If I hear them go into my room, I may have to stop for a moment because my room is off limits. But they think that if they're playing hide and seek, it is limits. Also, my husband's sniffling and stuff in the background, and his eyes really irritated after, surprise, smoke and stuff getting in your eyes after you shoot off fireworks. So his eyes a little irritated, the poor guy. Both of us did not sleep well at all. Like my knee and my hip was in pain. He was like restless, and it didn't help that people around here. I think I complained about this. I don't mind it when people are shooting off fireworks. In general, I do get annoyed though when they start shooting them off past midnight, and then like at one point I'm drifting off to sleep, and I think it's almost 2:00 in the morning when I hear a really loud. I'm just like, really? At this point at night, that's a little much. Sorry. And my allergies are acting up too. So, since I dared to go outside, my sinuses are just like, no, we're not having it today. So I should probably get some Allegra after this when I'm done with my Wip Chat, because I don't know if I can handle much more of this. Because I feel kind of congested now from all that stuff from outside. I spent too much. I spend too much. I know people are like, no, you don't. I feel like I spend too much time outside, especially last week. Oh my goodness, I tried so hard to get the kids to play outside. It was a really hot day. I was like, okay, we're going to go outside. We're going to do this, and then we're going to go back inside, because my husband had like several meetings during that day, if I remember. And I was like, okay, he has a lot of work to do. I'm going to keep the kids occupied. We have popsicles. We have juice packets. They have, their scooters. We got bubbles. We got chalk. We're going to keep ourselves Nope, we did not keep ourselves entertained at all. The whole hour, they were crying. They were whining. They wanted to go back inside. I wanted to go back inside. They were constantly in and out of the house the whole time. And, I was the only one that stayed out the full hour. While everyone was like sitting down, they were blocking my fan. It was hot though. I was just like, when we got back inside, I was like, I need a shower. I need a shower bad. And it was like 10. No, we went out around 9:50. It was almost like 11 something, and I was just like, I need a shower. I need a shower so bad. It's so hot. And our side of the house, like where we have the driveway and stuff, the sun beats on it for the first half of the day. So it was miserable. The kids did not like it. And it cooled down over the weekend, but it's picked back up again. So like yesterday, I think it felt like 100. Right around, I want to say, right around 12 or 1 o'clock, it felt like 100 already. So, yeah, the kids don't want to go back outside. I've been trying to get them to do some stuff outside, but I can't blame them when I don't want to do it. Even Nicole, she's like, she doesn't go outside unless her friend calls her, and then she goes to her friend's house, and they normally stay inside anyway. And if they do go outside, it's to swim, so... I mean, they all still have, I still put sunscreen on, and they still get, like, they're still got a decent tan. My tan's almost gone from when we went to the beach at the beginning of the summer break, but they're still tan. I'm like, holy cow. They're like, they zoom all over the place, and I'm staying in the shade going, yes, sun. But yeah, we're trying to figure out to keep them occupied. Because I don't want them just playing Minecraft all the time or playing on their tablets. I'm still having trouble getting them to do their summer homework. I think this is the first year where I'm like not motivated at all to do it. Usually I'm like, let's go, let's get this done, and I'm still like, yeah, let's get this done, but I really don't want to. I really don't want to do it. So I think tomorrow we are going to. I wouldn't say like knock it out hard, but I'm going to at least try and get them to do a few of their homework sheets done, so that way we don't have to do a crazy amount at the end of the summer break, and we're not panicking. They don't have to do it; it's not mandatory, but I still like them to keep their skills, especially since my youngest. Oh my goodness. She needs to have some help. She loves reading. That's the best thing. But like I was looking at her spelling, and it needs a little bit of help, and so poor kid. But yeah, she loves to read, so I feel like that will help her. Especially, we pointed out the dictionary now, so I was like, if you don't know what a word spells like, do this, and you can come to us if you don't know how to spell it, and we'll help you, and you can practice it. So she's getting a bit better, but yeah, it's just like, oh my goodness. But I've been teaching her also to write smaller now, since she's going into second grade. I told her that she can't just, scribble scrabble all over the page like she normally does. I'm like, you're going to be a second grader now. You're going to have to start writing on the line, and that you also are going to have to start writing a bit smaller now. I'm like, you don't have to like write huge words anymore. The teacher's going to expect you to write tinier now. And she's like, okay. Was like, I was trying to make sure I wasn't yelling at her or chewing her out, because she doesn't need that, but she does need to understand that she has to start writing a bit tinier now. So hopefully we our next homework assignments that her handwriting might be a little bit neater. I hope. People are really surprised about Michael's handwriting, though. His handwriting, he writes tiny. I'm like, you might need to write a little bit bigger, not better, a little bit bigger, because the teachers might think I'm writing it. I hope not. Well, they'll find out once he starts school. It's actually his handwriting. So, all right, that color is done. All right, let's see. I almost knocked this down. Okay, so we've been going to the library. So so I've been talking about how my youngest, she likes to read books. So she's discovered a series that she is obsessed with now. So with Nicole, she's now obsessed with like Ivy and Bean, but between all three of them, they used to read Amelia Bedelia, Junie B. Jones, Nancy Clancy, or Fancy Nancy, and then, goodness, was there another one? I don't recall. But let me see. I'm going to get this color. But there's I think it's called Rainbow Fairies. So Jaina has been reading these books, and she has, when we first got them, we went to go to McDonald's after we went to the library, and she was reading her book and did not realize that we were at McDonald's at all. She was like, why are we here? And she was like that interested in her book. So I'm glad that she's found a book that she's really into, and she's asked us to buy the series for it. I looked it up, and it's like over 200 something books. I'm like, oh my goodness. But we were talking about maybe buying a couple of box sets and to get her started, because if she's really into that, I'm not going to stop her from that. Because when I was her age, I was into Babysitter's Club and it was like the Little Sister series as well, from the same author. So I used to read a lot of that, and then I also used to read a lot of Nancy Drew and Hardy Boys too. But I don't think she's going to be into that. Let's see. If you guys have any suggestions what books for a almost second grade boy would be into, can you put down some suggestions down below, because I'm scrambling my brain for my son. Like he likes reading, just not as much as his sister, and he prefers to read stuff about flags or countries and stuff like that. A lot of fact type books. And I've been trying to get him to read a couple more fiction books, or I really want him to get into a type of, at least a book series that will, keep him interested, because his teacher says he needs to start working more towards reading some more fictional type books instead. Because there's nothing wrong with reading stuff, that, has facts and stuff like that, but he does need to start broadening his imagination. But he does really good. Just need, if you guys got any suggestions what, second grade boys might like, yeah, leave them down below. Even if they are poop and, fart and butt jokes at this point, I just need him to read something. Because it is pulling teeth with this kid sometimes. Like, I go read a book, and then he'll just read, like, Pete the Cat, and I'm like, I know you like, Pete the Cat, but it's, you really need to, excuse me a moment. Sorry, guys. So, anyway, I don't know where I was. Was it books? I think it was books. So, if you guys have any suggestions, just leave them down below for me, so I can check them out and all that fun stuff. Let's see. What else did I need to talk about today? Oh, I don't like to look at that one that has a hole right there on the side. Nope, okay, it was just dirt. Never mind. Let's see. What else? So, been trying to get the kids to play some more board games, and sometimes that goes well, other times it doesn't. But we gotten my husband to be able to sit at the dining room table a bit more, and it's nothing anything bad or anything like that. It's more of, he works during the evenings as well, so he sits at his computer while he's working while I have dinner ready. But he's been sitting at the table more, and it's gotten the kids to be silly, I guess. So, one of the things that's happening is she's going to be great in a theater class. Is what I'm just. So one of the things was my husband said a sentence, and she immediately followed up with mocked him in a way. She was really Miss Sassy Pants. She put on a voice and everything, and he just looked at her. And she looked back, and she just, kind of, like that. I'm like, okay, kid. But yeah, it was like one of those things where it's just, you can't believe the things that come out of your kid's mouth, and it still does. But one of the things is she likes to pretend that she's a princess, and then she all of a sudden she's like, stab the bad guy. I'm like, whoa, what basically I don't need any help, I don't need anyone to save me, I'll save myself. But it's just like I'm still very shocked whenever she says something like that. I'm like, yeah, calm down. Right, and then let's see. My son, he one of the things we've been trying to do too was I've been trying to get them to finish their projects. One of the projects being the diamond painting kits that they asked to do, and my son has finally just said no more. I give up. I don't want to keep doing it, and so he kind of mopes around whenever it's project time. And it's I'm just just put a little bit down, just a little bit down. We're not doing it. I'm just like, oh goodness. Even my husband joined in. He even joined in to help out to try and convince Michael to do just a little bit. Even with Daddy, working on it, he was not convinced. It was just like my husband did a good portion of this little tiny project, and Michael was just like, nope, not gonna do it. But now Nicole, she's back into it again. Her mother, her nana, sorry, my mother-in-law, her nana, gifted her the solar system diamond paintings, and I tried so hard to get her to do that, and she refused. And I was just like, okay, I'm not going to keep pushing it, because I'm just done trying to push it with everyone. But when she was sitting at the table with all this happening, she got into the stuff that my husband and her sister were into. It's really like specialty, like those little specialty drills and all that stuff. So she's doing it again. She likes to do that, and she asked me to get more. I'm like, well, finish what you have first, and we'll talk about it later. Because she's also asked me to buy her a sewing kit. So, because her friend and her like to sew together, apparently. I'm like, okay, this is news. I've never heard of this before. And I was like, okay, you mean cross stitch? No, she doesn't mean cross stitch. I'm like, embroidery? No. So, there's like these kits that are online on Amazon that I found. It's like fruits and stuff like that. So you can basically put stuffing in it and then like sew around the edges. That's what she wants. So I'm like, okay. So my husband and I are talking maybe buying a couple of those things, and then like she and her friend can like hold themselves upstairs in her room, away from her brother and sister, and she can spend time with her friend or something like that to do that together. So that way they're not just bored up there, because I always feel weird, like they go upstairs and I'm like, there's not really a lot to do up there except chit chat, and I know they chit chat, but still. So I just want them to be able to have something to do, and then like instead of coming downstairs to draw and stuff like that, which is one of the reasons why we're like discussing about making her room into a teenager room. Oh, I don't want her to become a teenager. She's already acting like one, guys. Like, she rolls her eyes out and like she says weird things. No, what she does a lot is goes bruh a lot. I think I mentioned this too. She does say bruh quite a bit. Her friend says it, so she says it. It's gotten to the point where she says it so much that my husband and I have made a game out of it. She doesn't think it's funny, but I do. So let's see. She's excited because she's got a sleepover. Finally not over here. That they finally invited her for a sleepover at their house this coming weekend, I think. So she's really, really excited about that. I'm like, okay, you have fun, enjoy yourself, and yeah. Let's see what else has been happening in this house. Oh, I got a little funny story. So when we went to order groceries from Walmart the other day, my husband does order fizzy water. He orders like a 12-pack of like cherry limeade cans instead. But they did not have it. They substituted with like sugar, like zero sugar strawberry instead. It didn't have any aspartame in it at all. So one day we told the kids, go ahead and have yourself some fizzy water as a treat, and we directed them to the strawberry, the zero sugar strawberry. And I'm sorry, because I'm still remembering the face. They opened the cans and took a big sip and immediately, my son, he's all like, I'm going to barf. It's like, it's not that bad. It's literally sparkling water with a hint of strawberry. You guys drink normal water all the time. It's literally fizzy water, that, with strawberry. And they're like, oh, this is awful. And Then my husband played a mean prank on them. So what he did was when they went upstairs to get changed, because we were having game night that day, we were gonna play dominoes and Uno flip. He puts flavoring in his, and then he goes, "I don't know what you guys are talking about." When they came back downstairs, "This tastes just fine." So they go and taste his, and they're like, wait, this tastes good." And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't know why you guys are talking, like, acting like yours is awful." Then they go and take a sip of theirs, and then they're like, "It still tastes bad." And it's like, "Oh, that's weird, huh?" And then they found out that what he did, and they're like, "You tricked us." He goes, "Yep." So we put some flavoring in them. We pitied them and said, "Okay, here you guys go." But it was funny to see their faces take a sip after they thought it was good. Oh my goodness. I'm never gonna forget that. It was hilarious. So yeah, I know that was a little mean, but you know, they deserved it. Giving us a rough time that whole time. But no, it was just like, it was all in good fun. And we didn't let it go on very long. We immediately let them know what was happening. But, oh my goodness, it was funny. Okay, I think I'm running out of putty on my pen here. I was hoping to be almost done with this. I had it all nice and preset for you guys. So that way it's like I could just fill this all up and that's it. I think I'm going to be working on this like only during my Wip Chat, so it might take a little bit longer until I'm done with the Jasmine Beckett Griffith one that I'm working on. I'm like trying so hard to get things done. I'm like, I have a list of like projects that I want to do, and it's like kind of some of them are starting to get pushed further back into the next year, and I'm like, no, because like the Sailor Moon one, I really want to work on that one. But it's like, I want to do all these events that are coming up too, so. And I'm just like, I got to figure out a way to put that Sailor Moon in somewhere. I got to figure it out. Plus, I also got to think about what kind of sparklers and ABs and stuff like that I want to order for it, because I am going to make that baby look beautiful. Oh, I am going to have some news next week, hopefully. I don't want to spoil it just yet. We're surprising the kids. So I'll let you guys know this awesome little surprise. I might even show it to you guys. So keep your hands, crossed like here. Nothing too scary. Nothing. No, not a pregnancy announcement or anything like that. No. So. But yeah, I'm going to keep you guys updated on it, because we got to surprise the kids first with it. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to probably call it quits here, because I am definitely going to need to edit this video if I want to get it up to in time. So I'm going to have to stop this altogether. But if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Otherwise, I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful day, or at least try to get through this week. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!